What is up, everybody? Guru here, and this is another of my gear reviews of the pieces of gear that I used on the Appalachian Trail. This is the Enlightened Equipment Revelation quilt. As you can see, it packs up really small. I actually carried this bag along with the sleeping bag liner I had, and it all fit into a 6-liter dry sack. So it packs up super tiny, takes up no space in your pack. For a 20-degree bag, that's really nice for how small it gets. Let me show you guys. It's a great quilt. They're actually made in Montana, I think, maybe Minnesota. I think Montana, by Enlightened Equipment. Nice made in the USA piece of gear. It held up great. I never lost any feathers on trail. If the wind doesn't catch it, I can show you how big it is. I actually got the long and wide version of the trail. Of the quilt. You can customize pretty much any quilts you end up getting from Enlightened Equipment. They have pre-made ones already ready, but you can also, if you wanted to, customize pretty much everything that goes into the quilt. Like I did the colors, I put an extra weather-resistant top and bottom on it. These green parts are a little thicker nylon to help keep the moisture off if your bag is at the bottom of the tent and it just gets condensation. It is just a little extra bit of water-resistant. It is 850 down check, and I think they do all the way up to 950. The whole bag itself for a 20-degree bag weighs 22 ounces. And that's for the long and wide. I don't think I needed the wide just because of how small I am. I am 6 feet tall though, and having the long, I know there's a lot of debate about it, but I do like having it be able to go over my head. It does have a closed foot box. It zippers out, so you can open the whole thing up to a full quilt, which my recommendation is, because this is just straight from me, I did not ever open the bottom of the quilt for my whole through hike, unless it was just to show people that it can be done. But I never found the opportunity, or never really felt like I needed to open the bottom. I guess if you're having someone else just cover up with it, if you want to snuggle together, you can open it up and just, at the end of the day, put it over both of you. I just never really, I guess I was just lonely on the trail, never really had to do that. Anyway, it has closures all the way up to the top, so you can actually cinch it down around you. There are extra straps that one goes around the pad, one goes around your body, and it just keeps you cinched in. You can close up the top here, and there's a drawstring at the top, so you can close it all the way around your neck or above your head, whichever you like, if you get a long enough one. And it is a 10-denier nylon in the base of it, 20 at the bottom, which is pretty thin, but I never had any problems with feathers coming out. We will see later on when I hike the PCT if I have a problem with that, but it did make it through my through hike perfectly fine. What else? So I know a lot of people that have this bag that like to put the bottom of the footbed into their pad. They just cinch the pad into the foot box itself and have that to like secure the pad there. I'm pretty sure Enlightened Equipment does not recommend that in their videos, because it is a rather light nylon, and just having this up against the ground sandwiched between your pad, and if you're moving around, I can see how that would get holes really quickly in the sleeping bag itself. But yeah, like I was saying with the zippers, the Enigma from Enlightened Equipment is a sewn closed foot box, so you get, if you're not planning on opening the foot box like I never did for the whole trail, it'll just save you a few extra ounces, and then you won't have the little hole at the bottom that is created from just cinching up the closed part at the bottom. I just usually, if it got too cold, I would throw a set of socks in there or whatever just to close up the little hole at the bottom. Yeah, all around awesome piece of gear by Enlightened Equipment. Definitely top 5 of my favorite things I had in my pack. Just packed up so small, and I never had a cold night on trail. I did use a sleeping bag liner with this because I didn't want to be just my back on my thermarest, and it was Sea to Summit's lightest weight sleeping bag liner, and yeah, that was just to keep my body off of my pad, and it added a little extra warmth, and I actually slept in the sleeping bag liner probably more than I slept in the 20-degree quilts, just because I run hot most of the time. I would usually just get in the sleeping bag liner, and then the great thing about quilt is that you can just use as much of it as you want. You just put your foot in the Footbox, and then you can just fold it over however much you want on you. Can just go to however high up you want. But yeah, I loved this quilt, and it was a great thing to have on the trail. Probably the most expensive thing that I had in my pack, but fully worth every penny. Anyway, if you guys don't mind leaving a like or subscribe down below, that would help me a ton. And anyway, hope everybody is doing well back home, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye guys.